All right, everyone, you have requested this so often, and I am so thrilled to be here with Alexie Brooks. How are you doing, my dear?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here with you because there's just like so many people who are interested in your journey at Miss Universe Philippines, your story, and hopefully today we can get to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely. I'm excited for people to know more about me and what more Alexi can do in this competition.
Awesome. So let's have fun with this interview. First of all, thank you to our very generous hosts here at Hotel 101 who accommodated this entire interview for us, to Alexie's team who is also behind the cameras. You guys are amazing. And Alexie, before we start, I just want to congratulate you because I know that today is a huge day for you. It's actually your graduation of your bachelor's degree, right?
Yes.
Oh my God,
Thank
grab it,
you.
grab it, guys. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, actually, was it yesterday? I was like, there's something missing because I felt like tomorrow's my graduation,
Yeah.
but I also felt like there's something more for tomorrow. I was like, what it would be? And then I woke up and I checked on my Facebook memory and I realized it's actually my grandpa's birthday today. So it's also because I was raised by both of my grandparents.
Yes.
And my grandpa is like my dad already, but passed away unfortunately. And I realized that it's my grandpa's birthday. And ever since I was a kid, he don't wish nothing much in life except for me to finish my education.
Yeah.
Though we was poor and I didn't really have money growing up, I'm thankful that God given me the talent at sports, which is my pathway of where I am right now. So it paved my way. I'm lucky for the coaches, the mentors, the teammate, and my school right now, and you for giving me this opportunity. And I never spent any money on my education ever since I was in my elementary days. So I'm really proud of that. And today I'm going to be finishing my college or bachelor's years, and I'm just so proud of myself. And I hope that I made my family proud. I made my grandpa and my grandma proud.
Oh my God. I mean, first of all, I'm sure your family is extremely proud of you. We as pageant fans, we are extremely proud of you as well, all of your accomplishments. And honestly, I can only think of the people watching you from the outside, like the little girls, the little boys, and everyone who look up basically to beauty queens and even to like, people in the sports arena, right? So that's a beautiful story to tell. Tell me a little bit about those beginnings, where it all began for you when you first got into sports, and how was that entire experience for Alexie?
Well, it's quite a long story, but if I sum it up, we could probably start with me. I was raised in a small barangay back in Iloilo. And in that place, people knows me as, I'm the only colored person in there.
Yeah.
So I might get often bullied for that, or people would recognize me right away because I'm the only different person. I didn't have my parents growing up, so I only had my grandma and my grandpa. And I remember those days where I would always run from school going home because I'm so scared of this kid bullying me because of my complexion and my differences. Yet those pain that I went through, I tried to transform my life. I told myself, I'm never gonna go anywhere in life if I just keep on lurking in the dark because of, people telling me things. So I realized in a young age that I had talent in sports. Thank God. I run fast.
Yeah.
So running away from bullets into running and chasing my dreams. And I realized that I run fast. I think I was on my third grade.
Yeah.
And there was one teacher who saw me running and she told me, why don't you try sports? And I thought it was a joke because I was third grade. I thought I'm no good at anything.
Yeah.
Someone saw the potential. Someone recognized you. I think it all started when someone recognized us, that we start to believe in ourselves. So when I was in my third grade, that one teacher recognized my talent, and God knows, next thing I know, I made it to the Philippine team. But it wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
At a very young age, and tried to manifest my dreams.
Yeah.
I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I didn't even know that I was manifesting. I was on my third grade, probably 9 years old, 8.
Yeah.
So you don't know anything much. And sports started in an early age, probably 8. And my first pageant actually started when I was 12 years old. I tell you, the member of my team right now, my passerella coach Russell, was the first person who ever discovered me in pageantry. I was a little bit boyish because I studied sports and I was raised by my grandpa, my uncles. My grandma was always in the city because we have this fruits and vegetable business.
Yeah.
So she's the one taking care of it in the city. So one time there was Russell who went to my grandma's house. She said, Lola, can we let Alexie join pageant? And my grandma literally laughed because she's like, can't you see this girl wearing jersey, basically playing basketball? There's no way she's going to join pageant. And I don't know what happened. Next thing I know, I was like, I was watching TV and basically I saw someone who had the same skin tone with me, and I realized that maybe I can make it there. So it was never about her just being there winning the crown. It's more about her leaving a legacy behind, and that kind of sparked the dream within me. And I first joined my pageant when I was 12. I won, and next thing I know, I keep on dreaming big, and here I am right now.
Oh
It
my
might
God.
sound like everything was so easy, but you know that when a lot of people, when a person had so much achievement, that they need to go through so much pain, struggle, and a lot of things. But
Exactly.
it's sweet right now. They said grapes.
Yeah.
It's the right time, but yeah.
I mean, just look at your journey, where you started and where you are at the moment. And it's like so inspiring, so remarkable. So honestly, props to you and your entire support system, your family. I'm sure that they must be so proud of you. I mean, as a pageant fan and someone who makes content a lot about Miss Universe Philippines, I've been hearing about you for quite some time, even before Miss Ilo Ilo, because pageant fans have been requesting, maybe she can join. She's a really strong contender. She can do this, right? So for you, how was it the moment that you decided, going from sports, I'm going to try pageants? Was it a challenge for you? Were you just like challenging yourself, or what made you take the jump?
Well, because someone actually believed in me and someone encouraged me to join, that I only recognized that I had that dream. And when I recognized that I had that dream and I first won my pageant and I won, what happened is I wanted more. I think it's just like a human thing that when we achieve something and make us feel good,
Yeah.
that we wanted more. So I realized at an early age that I have talent in sports, but I'm someone who don't limit myself in one thing. I said, if I can join pageant and if I can win and if I can inspire people with my story, why not go with it? I also try to do modeling. I also try to do singing and writing and so on.
Grabe
But
ka.
I said,
She can do it all.
beauty pageant is a different world. And I felt like the reason for me why I wanted to join is first, of course, I want to represent my people. I want to share my story. And at the same time, I want to create changes, not only to the beauty standard, but I think changing the people's perspective when they talk about pageantry, that they always think about it as just like, all beauty or glamour and all those things. But I think pageantry is so much deeper and so much more.
Yeah.
It's one of those things or ways we can inspire people with our story. So sports, it's tough. It is really tough. It's all physical at the same time and mental. Though I don't know the transition, all I knew is I'm someone who's flexible.
Yeah.
I'm someone who's willing to do the complicated and make it easy. And I'm someone who always challenge myself. So sports and beauty pageant, different things, different world, but they have so much similarities.
Grabe. That's a very important point that you just made, because a lot of times, even before you join, right? In the pageant world, we like to say that beauty pageants are like sports and beauty queens are like athletes. Why do you think there is such a comparison to begin with?
Actually, before I was like, okay, what are the comparisons of it? And then right now, we have swimsuit last time in Aqua Boracay, we have the Nat course in Sultan Kudarat, and so on with other competition. So in sports, I play heptathlon, and heptathlon is composed of 7 events in track. There's 100 hurdles, 200 meter, 800, high jump, long jump, javelin, and shot put. And you think of it, pageant is the same thing. It's like we have swimsuit, we have preliminaries, we have Nat course, we have closed door interviews and so on. And in the end of the day, it's just the same. We not only work ourselves physically, but mentally and emotionally. And I think that's the same thing. We need mentors in there, we need coaches in there. Our sisters are like our teammates as much as we are competing with one another. But in the end of the day, we're all a women gathering in there, showing to people why we're here and what we can do and the changes that we can make. So I think that there's so much comparison.
Yeah.
There's just so much comparison in pageantry and in sports than people think of. Though, of course, in sports, you need to lift, you need to run fast. But in pageantry, you need to better your passerella or train your mind more into, dealing with things or answering questions and so on. But there's so much comparison in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, one of the most important things, especially for athletes, is the discipline, that you must have for sports. It's not just being good at it, but the training, being consistent, and always, being on top of your game. Do you also bring that into pageantry?
Yes. Actually, there's this three important things: the discipline, the dream, and the determination. It all started with a dream. and then you try to discipline yourself and be determined, and next thing you know, maybe you'll make it there. And pageantry is the same thing. People would always think that it's easy, but what we girls are going through right now, we barely had time to rest, and we can't even, we don't have time to see our family or our friends anymore, but we keep pushing through because we have this dream.
Yeah.
And as much as all of us have the same dream to win the crown, what makes us different is what we've done in the past and what we're doing right now. And it's just a matter of who's the most deserving girl.
Yeah.
And I hope that whoever actually really wins the crown would represent the rest of the 52 other girls.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so the first photo that I remember of you as a title holder is during the coronation night of Miss Ilo Ilo. This very famous photo of you hugging your Lola, giving her a hug and a kiss. What was going through your mind at that time? Because remember what you just told me basically about your humble beginnings and then joining sports and that being kind of like your saving grace. And then you joined pageants and you're also successful at it. So what was the mental, what was going on behind the scenes at that time?
Well, I'm actually as an athlete, I don't know, or maybe as someone who went through so much in life, I've always tried to put in a rod of whatever I'm going through. I really am someone who I show emotion, but only if it's, the excited one, the jolly one, the happy one. But I'm never someone who would usually really cry that much. But during that night when I won Miss Ilo Ilo, and when my grandma went on stage and then she was just crying, I was like, no, I'm not gonna cry. But then when I actually, when I gave her the hug and I gave her the kiss and looked her in the eye, and she said, I'm proud of you. Such simple words actually mean so deep.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why it made me emotional, because going back to my past when no one actually believes in you, when people just are so, they're just there to always say words of degradation towards you. They told you you're too black, you're too masculine, or your hair is too short, or your dreams are not achievable because you don't have the resources, the money, or the family. And as someone who is working my way out there, trying to give a fair fight, I think that the reason why I cried is because I carried it well. Everything that people told me that I couldn't, I showed them that I can. And when I'm there and I won, I realized that I was not doing it for me. I was doing it for the young girl like me and the little Alexie that's probably watching right now. And I realized that if I made the little Alexie proud, imagine how many more little Alexie or little black girl or little girls out there is watching me and being inspired by my story. And I want to keep this, I want to be this person that gives people hope and inspiration and, those dreams that they can achieve their full potential.
Anything they want, absolutely. I mean, my observation as technically someone who was not born in the Philippines and who doesn't have Filipino blood, I just decided to settle here. The Philippines, in my perception, it's such a diverse country. There's so much beauty in this country. There's, people from all the spectrum, basically. Why do you think that colorism is such a thing, and that someone with a darker skin tone or different hair texture, or just because they look different, would get a different treatment?
I don't know if it has to do with like colonial mentality, but I think as we Filipinos tried, in the very essence of it, in the very beginning, we're Filipinos because they're supposed to be morenas.
Yeah.
But I think it's because of us wanting to chase or race with the world on a specific standard. I think it really starts with the standard.
Yeah.
When the standard has to do with different of what we're comfortable of, we try to shift our minds or our dreams or what we are to fit in it without us realizing that, who we are is what makes us authentic and what makes us, flourish out there. But even I tell you, I think that, color has a big thing when it comes to it. As someone who grew up with a different complexion, I was raised by my grandparents, and all of my friends are Filipinos, but I always thought of myself as a Filipina.
Yeah.
I never looked at myself as a black girl or as, someone who's too dark or too masculine or anything. But then growing up, it sometimes gets harder because people would actually go in front of your face and tell you, oh, you're black. And sometimes I would tell them, okay. And
so what?
Yeah. It's like, you're black. And when they say the word when I say the word that I'm black, it's such a powerful, a message for me to tell, like, I'm a black girl and I'm proud of that and I'm strong and I'm powerful. But before, whenever someone called me black and I say the word, I'm a black girl, it makes me feel sad and it makes me feel more less because maybe of how I don't know if it was being taught or it's the ignorance.
Yeah.
Or I really can't, explain it or comprehend it much. But I really hope that we, not only the Filipinos, but the people would see through someone more than their complexion or their status or where they came from. Because in the end of the day, if we're all just, laying down there, what we all had in common is our souls. Our color is one thing, but what makes us unite, there are souls in our heart. And I hope people would really just, put it down, like complexion and everything. It doesn't really matter. I think it's really what we can offer.
Diba? I think you make such an important point. Sometimes like the meaning that we give to words, it can really tear someone down, or it can empower them, right? Because telling someone you're black, I mean, so what? As you said, so what? I'm a beautiful, intelligent, successful, accomplished, black Filipina. Diba? So, Alexie, okay, there's two things I want to ask you. So, the first thing is, the moment that you win Miss Ilo Ilo, we know now you're going to Miss Universe Philippines. It's the beginning of a new journey. And what I realized is that, to me, it felt like overnight, you gained this huge amount of support and love, not just from Iloilo, not just from the Philippines, but international support. Like, I get messages of people asking me to interview you from like UK and like countries that you would have never even heard of. So how do you deal with so much attention at once?
Tell you, ever since I was a kid, I knew I was meant for something big. I don't know why or where the dream, started, or how was it planned, or when is it planned in my heart or in my mind. But I knew ever since that I am meant for something big. And that's why when that time that I won during Miss Ilo Ilo, and the next morning my life transformed, I didn't look at it as, oh wow, that was an overnight success, but more of, oh, everything that I went through. Right now, it's time for me to get what I deserve. It's time for me to be rewarded of everything that I go through or I went through. And I am more happy. And as much as right now, people would say that there's so much pressure, but I think I am having fun. And I think it's because of the people seeing themselves in me. I think it's the very essence of it, letting people see themselves in you, knowing that if you made it, that they also can. I think it's the recognition and what we call relatability, that what makes people probably love me more or support me, is seeing someone who came from the same place you came from, or had the same pain as they went through, or the same trauma, and someone transformed their life into something beautiful, could spark hope or dream in people's mind. And Miss Ilo Ilo was just a point where I was announced, but before that, Alexie went through so many things. Like they said, the diamond need to go through so much pressure before it becomes the brightest. And I think that what I went through the past was just the harsh things, the rough things, and that night when I won Miss Ilo Ilo, I realized that maybe it's my time. And when I realized that it was my time, it's not about the crown that matters to me right now. It's about that moment. What can I do with this crown? It's about the legacy that I'm leaving behind. And even right now, I'm talking in front of you, this time's passing by, and I realized that I'll never be 23 again. I'll never be the same second again. So I'm just living my life and I'm doing my best and I'm creating a change.
Grabe. I could listen to you speak for hours. You're so good. You're so inspiring. Honestly, I love it. I agree 110% with what you're saying. I think that nowadays, traditionally, beauty queens have been this unattainable figures, these beauty standards that like nobody can touch. And it's like you have to commit your lifetime basically to be on that level. But you bring that level of beauty, grace, and all of those things, but you also bring this layer of relatability and basically showing the people that I am one of you. I come from basically the people, and I've been able to make it. So that's the message you're bringing them. It's a message of hope. It's not just beauty and look how glamorous I can be and how unattainable I can be, but basically, if I did it, you can do it too.
I feel like the beauty pageant itself, when we talk about Miss Universe, they're looking for someone who can inspire people, who can empower, who can talk about diversity and so many things instead of just beauty. And I think that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm doing. Making people see themselves in me and putting myself in people's shoes, feeling what they're feeling or going through what they're going through. And I hope that, when I win, that I carry, not, I only don't carry my past or my pain, but I'm carrying every Filipinos, because I'm not someone that they just can relate to, but I'm someone who they can look at themselves in the mirror and know that, oh, maybe I am just as or maybe I'm Alexie, but in different shape, different color, different body. But maybe what she went through, I went through, and maybe I can transform my life. I want to be the transformation to people, like a book you open and you see yourselves, and in the end of the day, like, oh yeah, maybe I can do that.
Yeah.
So I want to be those things to people.
Oh my God, crossing fingers.
It's never about me.
Yeah.
People would always think that it's all about, of course, I had a dream and I would love to win, but it's just never about me. It's always about what I can do to my people, to my community. That's why I said in the end of the day, regardless of what the outcome is, it's never about the girl who wears the crown, but a woman who creates changes in her community. So if it's not for you, it's probably just time maker, or maybe something is bigger out there that's coming in your way.
Wow. I'm just having the chills here from beginning to end. I love your message so much, Alexie. And, we're talking about the bright side of pageantry and, the support and all the people who look up to you. But there is also a side, I always say, whenever there is a lot of attention on you, if you're a public figure, there's a lot of love, and then there's a lot of criticism. And there's the people who love you and the people who don't see it for you. So how do you deal also with the pressure and the expectation of people telling you, oh, you are not the prototype, or you don't represent us, or, any of those comments?
I mean, what really is a standard? We talk about beauty queen, we want specific type, but in the end of the day, aren't all women the same?
Yeah.
And we always talk about, oh, Alexie looks like this specific person, her body build looks like this specific person, but there's a lot of Black girls out there that looks exactly like me. So does that mean that they shouldn't join the competition because we look alike?
Yeah.
And I really hope that people would stop doing that. I mean, I don't mind if people don't like me, but it saddened me because maybe a Black girl out there that looks like me is so scared of joining because of the things that I'm going through. I can handle it, but maybe she couldn't. And I really hope that people will be more sensitive with their words, and they should try to put on themselves on those person's shoes. Would they like that same words that being thrown at them? Because as much as I'm someone who went through so much in life already, people told me many times I couldn't. People called me the N-word. People would try to tell me that I'm not good enough, or I'm not beautiful enough, or I'm not talented enough. And all my life, I thought I wasn't. And then I realized that if I know my truth, that other people's opinion about me doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So right now, if someone calls me I'm Black, and so what? I know I'm Black, and I know that I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
If someone told me that I don't fit in the standard, all I'm asking is what really is the standard?
Yeah.
I mean, all of us want change. We want change all the time, but when change really comes and we don't like the way it's shaped, we don't want to reconsider that. Exactly. So as sad as it be that some days I just wake up and I'm feeling myself, and next thing you know, I open on my social media and someone called me like, oh, I'm too muscular. Before, when someone called me a muscular, I actually look at it in a positive way, because when someone is muscular, that means they worked hard for that body, and they put on years of hard work and dedication to achieve that body. And right now, when someone calls me muscular, it might make me feel bad. And it's not all the time that we're positive or we're optimistic. There's days that we wake up and we don't feel good, and there's days that I wake up that I don't want to do it anymore. But then when I realize that there's people out there believing in me, that I'm going to do it for me today, but I'll do it for those people.
Absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, just like you said, who makes the rules? Who says, right?
Who makes the standard?
I want to talk to the manager. Bring my Karen wig. When it comes to your looks, I mean, I love that even you highlight it and you embrace it, right? Because you're also a model, you are an athlete, now a beauty queen, right? So you really play a lot with your looks. Sometimes you're hyper feminine, sometimes you go for more edgy looks. So is there, like, how do you decide basically? You just wake up and today I feel this way, so I'm gonna...
I mean, as funny as it sounds, but it's really like that. I'm someone who's androgynous, And all my life, there's always this standard of, of how we should dress like,
Yeah.
if you're feminine, you dress like feminine. If you're masculine, dress like masculine. And I knew ever since I was a kid that I was a member of the LGBT community, and they'd always expect you if you're masculine and then dress up like that. But then one day I woke up and I realized that why should I limit myself into one when I could be anything and I could be comfortable, and if that what makes me authentic, then that's it. So if there's days that I wake up and I feel more feminine, then I am feminine. If there's days I wake up and I feel a little bit more masculine, that's it. I think it's just the finding the balance in it that really matters. But I think our style is just one thing. It's our heart that really matters the most. What we can say, our words. Style is one thing. Oh, that's all I know. Style is one thing. But our words and our heart and our aspirations and our purpose is something else.
Absolutely. And it's just about basically enjoying fashion and, having follow with colors and just making sure that you're representing yourself as you want to be seen, right? I remember once I read somewhere, don't ask me where, guys, my memory is not that good, but I read somewhere that people are usually scared of the things that they don't understand, or sometimes they will reject things that they don't understand. So do you think that the fact that you have such a diverse background, not just, in your skin color or, you present yourself, but the fact that you come from humble beginnings, that you were successful in sports, you were successful in pageants, do you think that sometimes that can intimidate people and that's why they're not sometimes so open, or there's like a barrier sometimes?
I think so. I think because I heard someone who told me that it felt like I'm someone who's hard to reach. But if you're someone who's always with me all the time, you're just not, I'm just a regular person. I'm someone who eats the same food as you eat, talk the same language as you do, share the same values as you do. My friends, actually, you would know if someone is a good person because the friends that they have ever since they was in elementary are still the same friends they have until right now.
Yeah.
And people, we're not used to seeing specific things. And when there's something new and we don't know it yet, we sometimes feel worried or fear it or get scared about it. But I think what really matters is who's starting your way. It's like a domino, who's starting the domino.
Yeah.
There's this Tagalog term na parang walang susunod kung walang mangunguna. So if I don't start being me, I don't start being authentic with myself, I don't start telling my stories, telling people that this is me, this is what I came from, I'm androgynous, I have short hair, this is my style, this is the way I talk, then they wouldn't know those things. And I think that I'm teaching people, I'm educating them, I'm opening their eyes into what the modern woman is or what the future woman looks like. And I think that it's very important to be a start of something.
My God, this one I know the reference. My favorite singer, Madonna, says, artists are here to disrupt the peace. Well, beauty queens are here to disrupt the peace also.
Exactly.
I love it. Alexie, of course, you mentioned, going through this journey is something bigger than you. This is for the people. So let's project into the future that you do get that crown for Miss Universe Philippines. How will you take the platform even further? Because I'm telling you right now, all of the attention that you're getting, love, hate, whatever it is that you're getting right now, if you win the crown, is going to multiply times 10. So what would you do with a platform that is 10 times bigger?
I feel like it's the same advocacy still. It's just this time I'm carrying the 52 other candidates' advocacy within me. I think that we shouldn't limit one girl's advocacy into one. As much as my advocacy is women empowerment, but if I win the crown, maybe I could advocate for the animal, the LGBTQ, or everything else. I think that if I win the crown, and as much as it is a big responsibility, but it's also a job for me.
Yeah.
I need to know my people, what my people needs, what do they want to know, what do they want to hear. I will be an advocate for them. I will be their ally. I'll be their voice. I think in the world that we're living in right now, we need someone who will be a voice for us. I was someone who was silenced before. I'm someone who thought my words doesn't really matter. But I realized, but my silence serves no one. And when I realized that my voice or my voice had the power to change and to create changes, that I could do the same thing to people. So if I win the crown, I would focus on my advocacy, empowering women, empowering kids and Black women, and empowering athletes in sports. But at the same time, I can empower everyone. I can be the voice to people. I'm someone who they can run to and they can relate. I'm their beauty queen. I'm the Miss Universe, but I'm also their friend. I'm also their sister. I'm also their ally. So I can be those things to people. And there's just so much more. I think that our time is so limited, so to what I can do more. But if there's one thing that I want people to know more if I win the crown is I'll basically be a sister to them. I'm someone who they can run to if they need someone who would voice out what they need and someone who can inspire them or give those words of motivation to them in days that they need it.
My God. I think I'm going to send you the bill after this because you keep dropping my microphone. It's like mic drop every single time. Okay, so I know. All right, I'll be very frank about this. I like to ask the girls about their preparation. I don't expect you to tell me any secrets, design or color, nothing. I just want to know what is your focus on your preparation? Where do you put most of your energy? Not like knowing that we're going to prelims and finals in like a matter of days already.
Well, I think right now it's really a matter of mental preparation. It's just like sports. As much as like in sports, because as much as I want to run every single day so I can be fast, or I want to do my passerella every single day so I can be smoother. But with not strengthening your mindset is, gonna make things maybe bad or worse. So I really started with training myself mentally and psychologically that regardless of whatever the outcome is, that I am just happy and I'm just positive and I'm here to create changes. But right now, maybe I can say that I'm focused more on opening my eyes of seeing the world. Because when you open your eyes and you see the world and you feel more, that you can speak more. And I think it's really the Q&A. Passerella is one thing, but Q&A, I think if I want to be the voice to people, then I need to feel what other people's feeling or be in their shoes or see the world as it is and try to be the voices to these people. So Q&A.
You got the Q&A. Come on now. Have you been watching this interview? The Q&A is on lock.
So passerella.
Yes.
A lot of things. But I'm trying to balance it all out. Like if there's a day that we have free time or at least, let's say 4 hours, 2 hours is meant for Q&A and 2 hours is meant for passerella. And every morning when I wake up, I try to make sure that I try to sit down and do some, I reflect what's the lesson of yesterday, what's going to be the lesson of today, try to look back on my core and my past and my roots. And, in this beauty pageant world right now that everything is just so fast paced and people expecting so much from you and they want you to change and so on, it's really important to stick to your core and to your roots and to recognize why you want this dream and what can you do with, the crown if you get the crown.
Yeah, indeed. One of the things I remember during the press presentation, I had the opportunity to ask a question to Sir Voltaire in front of all of the girls. And my question was basically, this is one of the strongest batch of Miss Universe Philippines delegates ever, and so on and on. But my question to you is, what's the dynamic like with the girls, knowing that there are a lot of front runners? There's combat queens, there's veterans, there's French faces, there's dark horses, there's basically lots of girls in every category. So how do you interact with them? What's the dynamics behind the scene, knowing that, yes, it's a sisterhood, but it's also a competition?
I feel like it is really a competition, but in the end of the day, I feel like sisterhood is really more important. I had my closest friend right now is Mathea. And if you're there every single day that you're observing us, it's really us just communicating more, us understanding each other more story and advocacy and so on. And I think that as much as it is a competition, but in the end of the day, when this is all said and done, we're going to be sisters and we're going to be all humans who's just wanting the same thing, achieving the same thing. It's peace. So I think that people should really stop making it sound like it's a blood bond instead of, something else. Because if you're there and you see us, the girls, we're literally just there having fun, enjoying the moment, know that we're focused on, achieving the dream or wanting to win the crown, but we're having fun, we're enjoying, we're getting to know each other more, we're trying to know each other's stories and advocacies. And, I think it's very important so that whoever wins the crown, at least that girl knows what she's fighting for and knows that she's carrying these sisters that she have in the community. Because in the end of the day, we'll never have this moment again. I wouldn't probably be in the Miss Universe again, or at least in the Miss Miss Universe 2024 again,
Yeah.
or I wouldn't be 23 again, or, the same thing that is happening right now. So what I'm doing is I'm realizing that in every second that's passing by, I'm creating a memory and a legacy. And, as much as this is a competition, but this is also all about inspiring people or being authentic with yourself, showing, friendship and kindness and humility and love. So that's what the girls are actually really doing.
I love it. To me, that is the essence of pageantry when done right. I love it. So Alexie, just a couple more days before prelims and finals. Of course, my only hope for you is that you're in the right mindset, that you enjoy the experience, because as we said, you have the beauty, you have the brains, you have the performance, everything down. So it's only a matter at this point of enjoying it all days. The judges want to enjoy just as much as the audience. So if you're having a good time, everything else will follow.
Yes.
What is your message basically to the people who are watching us? How can they support you and uplift you leading to those final days?
To everyone who's watching, listening right now, well, firstly, I want to thank everyone for supporting in me and for believing in me in my journey. And I just want to say thank you also to my family for, seeing the potential in me and trying to be the voice or the positivity that I need in this competition, especially to my Lola Basing.
Yeah.
If she's watching this right now, I love you, Lola. But also at the same time, I really hope that we can be more kinder to the girls, because as much as this is a competition, but there's really more into it. We're going through a lot of things. Sometimes we deal with, physically being exhausted, mentally drained, and next thing you know, people aren't so nice. So I really hope that people become more nicer.
Yeah.
And to whoever wins the crown, I hope that the people becomes more supportive na lang, because in the end of the day, whoever wins the crown is going to carry us, the Filipinos. And if we Filipinos can't unite into one, then the winner probably wouldn't be happy knowing that her countrymen and her fellow Filipinos not supporting her. So if there is a message for me, I hope that we share more positivity and love. We stop the hate and we stop the, putting labels into things.
Yeah.
And I really hope that people will see me more than my complexion or my hair or my body, because I know there's so much more that I can offer. If I tell you that I can be your friend and I can be your sister, it is true. If you met me in person, I'm just as funny or as crazy or as interesting as people thought. But I really hope that we stick into achieving or believing in our dreams. If there's one thing that I want people to know, is regardless of where life takes you, that you never lose your core. You be authentic, you be yourself, you carry yourself, you smile, you laugh. You do great things, because in the end of the day, as what I said, we'll never be in this age again. So whatever you're doing right now will just go back or will go down into your history. So make sure to stay positive, to stay resilient, to work hard, and to just keep dreaming big and believe in yourself, manifest it. I'm manifesting the crown.
You heard that right here. I just want to say, this has been probably one of the easiest conversations that I've ever had. I had a bunch of questions prepared. I didn't even look at my phone, not even once, because it's just such an easy flow.
Thank you.
So as I said, best of luck. Enjoy the experience.
Salamat.
Props to your entire team. You guys are so amazing for facilitating this. The team at Hotel 101 also for welcoming us so warmly. And Alexie, congratulations again for your graduation.
Thank you.
This is such a huge milestone, and we are endlessly proud of you.
I'm excited. Thank
What is the expression? Like, I don't know how to pronounce, but avance,
Babae.
babae.
Avance babae.
Avance, babae. Come on.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Alexie.
you.
And we'll be rooting for you, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching also. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.